because Caleb said he had some things to do. I had actually told him that no camp to do.
Okay.
Because I thought it would be raining.
Right.
I thought it would be raining still. Because it said on the thing it would be raining from like around 3 o'clock to 6. So I thought camp closed, innit?
Yeah.
But I contacted him today and said, yeah, I'm going to come out. And then he said, because he thought it would be today, he organised the office. Right. So it says, but if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? But miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope. Yeah, because the moon, the Lord can destroy that. In dead things is their hope. The Heavenly Father could destroy the sun. Because it had a beginning. The sun and the moon and the stars had a beginning. The fishes, the beasts of the earth that man worshipped, they all had a beginning. Which means they can also have an end. Right? So these are dead things. These are corruptible things. So it says, where's that? It says, but miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who called them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver, to show art in, and resemblances of beasts, or a stone good for nothing, the work of an ancient hand. Now a carpenter that felleth timber, after he has sawn down a tree, meet for the purpose, and taken off all the bark skillfully round about, and have wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof, fit for the service of man's life. The Agnes, man. And after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, have filled himself, and taken the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood, and full of knots, have carved it diligently, when he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it to the image of a man. Well, these are gods that worship him, man. But I just brought that out to show you that, man will worship the sun, moon, and the stars, calling them gods. But yet he doesn't consider him that made them. Right? And that moon goes back to what the moon goddess, which is Semiramis, which is to be later on named as what? Virgin Mary. So the Roman Catholics, starting with Constantine the Great, took that idolatrous myth and took that to be worshipped, man. To this present day. You got our people, when you go down to Nigeria, you got a large segment of our people that are Roman Catholics, man. When I went to Nigeria, you have a large populace of our people down there in Lagos that are in the Roman Catholic Church. I went there, man, so I know it's true. A lot of our people have been deceived. Right? And what's that? When you go to in Ephesus, you had the queen of the Ephesians, which is Diana. I will get that in Acts, please. In Acts, the queen of the Ephesians. Get one, check this in. no, Acts somewhere.
Acts 19:27.
Right. Give me Acts 19 verse 24. Let the brother get out. 19:24.
Acts 19:24.
Right.
And it says, for a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines.
Which made what?
Silver shrines.
We made silver shrines.
For Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together.
So he made silver shrines. Wait, he was a silversmith, right? And he made silver shrines for Diana. Diana was the goddess that was being worshipped by the Ephesians. Now the Ephesians spoke what language? Greek. Right? And he brought no small gain unto the craftsmen. Okay, so the craftsman was going to make a silver shrine of Diana. Come on.
Whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation,
Right.
and said, sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth.
So they believe that by this craft, we got our wealth from this goddess. So they believed in Diana. Now get that in Diana, take an image of that. Because you're going to see a goddess with multiple breasts. That's what they were worshipping. Don't read on.
Verse 20.
Diana of Ephesus.
Verse 26. Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus.
Read that again.
Verse 26. Acts 19, verse 26. Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods which are made with hands.
You see that? So it was said throughout Ephesus that Paul has persuaded many that there be no gods that are made with hands. Right? So all them that are persuaded, who are they? They gotta be of the elect. Come on now.
Verse 27. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised.
See?
And her magnificence should be destroyed.
You hear that?
Whom all Asia and the world worshipeth.
See? So Diana was feared and worshipped throughout Asia. Now Asia Minor, that's Turkey. And where was Ephesus? Look up. Wait, what's that? See, that's Diana.
Yeah. Wow.
That's Diana. And breast represent what? Fertility. Hold on. Queen of the Ephesians, the goddess, made of silver. That's in the scriptures. So this is confirmed. You know, people saying the Bible ain't real. What this confirms it? It's in the Bible. There's even a so-called black one. So that the gods that were being worshipped back then were all so-called Negro. Multiple breasts. women being worshipped, man. That's where you have in even Egyptology the Ankh, which is what the symbol of this the circle, and the phallic symbol of a man. The phallic symbol of the woman over the man. And then the thing that stretches out is the children that's born forth of that unison of a man and a woman. So that's the Ankh. So a woman is over the man. You know, so woman worship. You see what I'm saying? That's prevalent throughout history. Woman worship. Worshiping. Give me the scripture where it says the Most High will make a new thing in the earth. You would put a woman over. A woman shall. Yeah. Wow. Right? But we're seeing that.
And it says, verse 28, and when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
Right. Read on. Great is Diana, queen of the Ephesians. Come on.
And the whole city was filled with confusion. And having caught Gaius, and
I think Gaia means earth.
Yes.
It means earth. Come on.
Gaius and Aristarchus, and
what verse?
29.
Gaius and Aristarchus.
Oh, Aristarchus.
Yeah.
Good. Men of Macedonia.
Now where's Macedonia? Where's Macedonia? Where would you find Macedonia? Where was Alexander the Great from? His father. Right. That's where Macedonia is. Because when you go to First Maccabees 101, in fact, if you can get it, First Maccabees 101, where was Alexander's father from? And what was his name?
Oh, Philip.
Right, read it.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. And it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The Macedonian. Philip the Macedonian.
Who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians.
Right,
and the Medes that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
There you go. Okay. So when you go to Daniel, it's the 8th chapter now. It tells you that the rough he-goat, the rough he-goat was the first king of Grecia, which is through Alexander.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Because as we read in Maccabees, that he was the first king over Greece. So when you go to Daniel's chapter 8, if you can get that.
Yeah, I'm going.
Go on, bring it out.
This is Daniel chapter 8.
Let me see. Where's the What does it actually say at the first is the king? 21. No, wait, what's up? That is 8 verse 21, right? Start from verse 3.
This is Daniel chapter 8 verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last.
Right. So the ram had two horns. One was higher than the other. What's the two horns represent?
The Medes and the Persians.
But who is higher than the other?
The Persians.
Right. Right. Okay. But why did the Persians come last? Because who was first? The Medes. Because our elder apostle Tahar brought that down at camp. If you watch the actual video after camp, the breakdowns after camp, he brought that down, man. I think Cyrus was a Mede, I believe. He was a Mede. And then I believe even you have Darius, there was two Dariuses. The first was a Mede. The second, you had Darius the Persian. So the Persians came out lost, but they were greater. They became greater than the Medes. Okay, so continue on.
Daniel 8 verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him.
What does that mean?
Across the wall.
It was expanding.
Oh yeah.
So the Persians was expanding. That's why they said that to defeat the Persians was damn near impossible. Because the Persians was great. But they consumed the Babylonian Empire. Right? Come on now. And had a lot of provinces. When you go to Ezra, it gives you an account of how many provinces that was in Medo-Persia. Come on.
So that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great.
Right, but the Most High made the Medo-Persian Empire great. That's one of the four beasts of Daniel. That was the second beast. The second beast, man. Hold on. Salakia. Let me get it. So Daniel's. I don't want you to jump around. This is Daniel's. Salakia. Chapter 7, verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it. Salakia, let me read that again. And it raised up itself on one side, and had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said, thus arise. It said, thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Right? So we know that that's talking about the Medo-Persians. It said it raised up itself on one side. What does that mean? That means one was greater than the other, which is the Persians. Okay? So let's go back.
So Daniel 8 verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great.
Trying to get the account with
Promises.
yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, I was going to get second entrance, you said?
The first Ezra.
Now 120 something. I forgot the chapter, but it's 120. It's like 123.
Six.
First Ezra 3, verse 2.
Well, first Ezra 3.
3 verse 2. From them down.
Yeah, there you go. Read it. First Ezra 3 verse 1. Right. First Ezra 3 and 1. First Ezra 3 verse 1.
First Ezra 3 verse 1. Now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and to all the princes of Media and Persia.
See that? See, so you had two Dariuses. This is talking about Darius the second. Come on now.
Verse 2. And to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him from India unto Ethiopia.
From India to Ethiopia. You know how far that is? From India to Ethiopia. So all the captains and lieutenants and princes that were under him from India to Ethiopia.
Yeah. From India unto Ethiopia of 127 provinces.
127 provinces.
And when they had eaten and drunken and been satisfied, were gone home. Then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awaked.
So that's the point. Because we read how there had 127 provinces in Medio Persia. That's like a state, 127 states. Now America has like what? Like 10 or something like that. Doesn't have nowhere near as much as that. So the Medo-Persian Empire was great. That was a great empire.
You said between India and Ethiopia.
That's how far it stretched. Right? So, Salakia. Now this is Daniel 7, verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Read that again. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard. Now if you look at any statue of Alexander the Great, what did he have on his head? A helmet like on his leopard. Right? And what did it say? This beast is like unto a leopard that had the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. And the beast had also 4 heads. 4 heads mean the 4 friends that come up after Alexander the Great. Which is who? Lysimachus, Seleucus, Ptolemy, and Cassander. Those are the 4 friends of Alexander after he died. And verse Maccabees goes into that, man.
And that's where wickedness had increased.
Wickedness increased. Showing you who the wicked is, man. That's Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Let's read it.
Continue on.
Where you at?
Daniel 8 verse 5. The Hebrew.
Yeah.
This is Daniel chapter 8 verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
From the west. Now Persia's to the east. Greece is to the west. You look at a map, Greece is from the west. Come on.
On the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Right. So first it said it touched not the earth. Meaning that motherfucker was flying, man. When someone flying, they ain't stationary. They're moving. So the Greek Empire was moving. It was expanding. And it had a notable eye in between it. A notable horn in between his eyes.
Yeah.
That horn is Alexander. He was the one spearheading it. Let's read on.
Verse 6. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river. I ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with the shoulder against him.
Read loud and slow, loud and slow, loud and slow.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with the shoulder against him.
Moved the cola against cola.
And smote the ram and brake.
And cola, what does that mean? Anger, fury, fire, wrath. So that he-goat was moved with anger against the ram. So let's get that.
And smote the ram and brake his 2 horns.
Right.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Yeah, so it was predestined for the Persians to get fucked over by the Greeks. None can deliver him. Why? Because the Most High predestined that to happen. Because what came after the Medo-Persians? The Greeks. The Most High made it that way. That was prophecy being fulfilled. But what does it say? The Lord setteth down one and bringeth up another. So the Lord did all that. Come on.
Verse 8. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of the heaven.
What does that mean? Read that again.
Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken.
What does that mean?
It was split.
The great horn was broken. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Alexander died.
Right.
And
He died. Come on.
And for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven.
What is that talking about?
The 4 areas that were ruled by different
Right.
Greek
Right.
leaders. Ptolemy and
Right.
the 3 other ones.
Right. You see? So this is history. This is actual history we're going into. This is in the Bible. You got people talking about, oh, the Bible is not real. We're talking about history. This is actually recorded, man. It's recorded. You could actually have a lesson on this, man. An antiquity. Like you might turn around and say, oh, that's in the past. Why do we need to go into that? Well, this confirms well, these kingdoms actually existed. So the Bible is real.
And then the Apostle had always said this to them before. He said, always go into the history. You need to go into the history to prove all this.
Right? And our people is recorded within the existence of these diverse kingdoms. We were servants to them. We were servants to them. Even from that book, there's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor, the author of that book. And he said from Alexander unto Julius Caesar, it was recorded that 1 million Jews fled into Africa. From Alexander the Great, man. So from Alexander, our people have been persecuted. I don't have the book with me. I used to have it with me, but I don't have it with me. But it says from Alexander to, I believe, Pompey or Julius, it's been estimated that 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. So in between the rise and the fall of the different empires and kingdoms, our people was always the dregs, who was always suffering underneath these different kingdoms.